And there you go. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you here, which is critical, right here, Sean, there is a small washer here on the transfer shaft. This is an all-wheel drive transmission. This likes to stick in the case. Now, in the case here, let's see if we can take a look. Right here. That washer will stick right here. Your builder will do just exactly what I did. Take this case and set it off to the side and keep going and never know that's there. So it goes in, the case goes into the cleaning machine, and where does the washer go? Into Never Never Land. So that's one thing you want to be really mindful of. So we have our shafts. The bearings were taken off to protect the innocent here because this is a very critical area for these two bearings. You have to use the correct pullers here, because if you don't use the correct pullers, you're going to break the gears. And the last time I checked, the boss doesn't like it when you break the gears when you're tearing a unit apart. So we've got a big oil baffle here that we can see covers up all the gear shafts. So the first thing we're going to do is just get this filter off of here. What did I do with my, there we go. Now we've got a lube tube here. This is just a lube for the bearing that comes off, gets pushed out of the way. First we've got to take off, before the baffle comes off, we've got to take the reverse selector arm off. This is pretty much standard Honda type stuff. This would be the reverse gear right here. Comes off with the sleeve and the needle bearing. Am I going too fast? No. Going all right here? So now we can lift the selector lever and the collar up and out of the way. Now this is, I want you to zoom in on this, Sean, on this ring right here. This has an ID ring right here. Got that? Yes. Nice. The ID ring faces down. Another easy way to identify that is the teeth are angled on the gear and they're angled on the selector ring. The opposite side is more of a pointed edge right there, which mates to the gear down below. Got that okay? Yeah. Cool. So now we can get this big baffle out of the way. It's baffling. And away it comes. So now we got a pretty good look at the shaft, the secondary shaft, the main shaft, counter shaft, and the third shaft. And I think I have that backwards. This is the secondary shaft, and this is the third shaft over here. So we've got these bearings off, and these This is a left-handed thread right here, and it's got, I'll show you this once I get it off. This holds the bearings on, obviously. And this particular one has an arrow right here. I think you can see that okay?
Yes.
Nice. Got left-handed threads. So if you were to look at the Honda factory manual, this is no different than the earlier Honda's 3 shafts, except for what's pretty lame is that they want you to take this shaft, this shaft, this shaft, and this shaft out as a unit. Forget that. That's ridiculous. It's just not going to happen. So, and that's with the bearings all on the shafts, and then once they're off, then you take the bearings off the shafts or whatever. Now I imagine 3 guys might be able to do that. If I put one guy here and one guy here and one guy here, well, I'm going to throw another guy in here so he's going to lift out the differential at the same time. That's not what we're going to do. What we're going to do is to take the top gear up the counter shaft, watching the spacer. Spacer goes right up on top here. That's another one of those things that'll launch into oblivion. We get that phone call on the hotline, hey, where does this piece go? Set that aside. Now we can take drum off out over here. Take the, and I should have this, the names of these gears all memorized, and unfortunately...
Nah, we don't name them either, just go.
Right?
No, we don't care.
He says we don't name them either, you know. It'll be important once we come to ordering them. Yeah. Now, we can lift the main shaft all the way up and out of the unit. Set our baffle aside. We can take our secondary shaft out. I'm going to show you some other bits here. Now we've got some lube tubes to take out, some transfer tubes. These only go in one way, so it's pretty easy stuff to take apart and just lay aside. Now we've got the counter shaft and the third shaft and the idler gear here. This idler gear can come out right now. That's all it is. It goes down in through the part linkage frame. Got a spacer and a bearing on it. It's held onto the shaft. The snap ring down over here. Now we're just going to grab the counter and the third shaft and up we go. So, just realized I forgot something at the shop. So I wanted to have a little show and tell. Now the unit is essentially a part left for the differential. Like I said, these are all-wheel drive transmissions. This is a particular ATRA as an all-wheel drive. There's no spacer down in the case right here. It fits nicely down into the case. Now, The other cool part about this unit, or there's several cool parts, but this is one of the nice things. Well, there's only one feed pipe. So we don't have to go figure out how many lengths of the feed pipes or what or where. Now,
No bushing, huh?
no bushings.
Cool.
Does it still wear the case out? Yep.
Yes, they still wear the case out. Now also, and this is what I did not bring, well, I showed you the tool in the paperwork, is this bearing right here. There is no retainer. It looks like there's supposed to be a retainer right here, but there is not. This is a press fit into the case, and I believe, I'm not sure on what page it is, I show you a tool and the setup to take that bearing out of the case. Is any, you guys get
25.
page 25? Oh, hi, Chris. Didn't see you there. So I got it.
Yeah.
This has to come out of here because like its predecessor, and I have the sleeve in my office, I just didn't bring it, it's sitting on my bench. Has 3 O-rings underneath it and a sleeve that has to come out of there, like on the other 4-speed units, 5-speed units, I'm sorry. And so it's absolutely essential that we pull this out of here. And if you don't have a tool like the one I showed you there, you're going to need a big slide hammer. You're going to have to heat up the case. You're going to have a couple of R&R guys standing on this thing and, you know, be wailing on it like this because this bearing's really, really in this case. And it absolutely has to come out because the sleeve has the O-rings on it. And I just about destroyed this one getting it out. The parts place had it, no big deal. I think it was about 13, 14 bucks. It was really cheap. So destroying the sleeve is not a problem. To get those parts, one of the better websites for parts that I've seen is HondaPartsUnlimited.com. That's like having a factory parts department right at your fingertips. HondaPartsUnlimited.com, and the folks from H&A turned me on to that, and I've been using that. I have no affiliation with them. It's just a cool website.